Всем привет, это как всегда игры, мы продолжаем прохождение, приятного просмотра. Идем, продолжаем, топаем по заданиям, выполняем все, что есть, выполняет, только одну миссию на первой планете не выполнил, ну все. Доп задание, даже не доп задание, поручение там. Здесь мы переместиться можем, почему-то карта долго открывается. Бессмысленно, да, перемещаться. Я больше потеряю время на перемещение.
You don't need to keep up appearances. You're among friends. We would never leave you behind. Here we go.
Here we go.
Never anger a man of the cloth.
Воу, я пропустил.
We're still alive.
Пропустил, просто что ты его не увидел. А жизни много, также ничего страшного, что пропускаю. Новые появляются, значит. Я здесь бегал. Или пропускал каждый раз. Кто-то где-то есть. А что вот это? Ау, много здоровья потратил. Я думал, слабее поломает. Что такое? Погрузчик очередной. Ладно, идем. Меньше отвлекаемся, больше выполняем. Вот так качается быстро. Уровней, лута много. Да у меня денег 25, наверное, сейчас. Here we go. Эй. Мне даже их способности не всегда хочется использовать, потому что они каждый раз одно и то же показывают, и это надоедает. И времени довольно много тратится, я быстро и так отстреливаю. Сохранение. А что за задание выполняю? Дневник не открывается. Оружие. Here we go. Я here we go говорю, потому что они в какой-то момент кричали here we go. Кто-то из них. Кого-то мы спасли, да? А может, не успели.
Impressive as always.
Неплохо. Это и есть. Внутри, наверное. Ладно. Здесь надо сначала смотреть, залутать. Оружие не очень хочется искать. Это которое, как оно называется, я не помню. Совсем забыл. Поставим. А вот и оружие я уже его нашел. Нет, надо еще что-то найти. У меня 100-го уровня нет. Оружие монарха. Научное оружие или как-то оно так называется, не помню. Компьютер, я подходил к компьютеру? Да, его уже взломать надо, не эту фигню.
Watch out, Captain.
Как со спины к нему зашла. Еще кто-то?
Here's a little trick I learned in prison.
Ты пока болтаешь, блин, меня забьют тут. Много-много всего. Этих я залутал, блин. Второй этаж есть. Что-то мне нужно найти, чтобы я мог забрать оружие. Я без понятия, что мне нужно найти. Какой-нибудь ключ, а может быть просто надо 100-й уровень. Если 100-й уровень нужен, то это будет плохо. Вот компьютер есть, может. Он поможет мне взломать. Патроны, патроны, повсюду патроны. Нет. Что сломал? Вроде все. Я не все залутал. Да, очень много времени на лут тратится, просто катастрофически много. Наверное, половина всего прохождения у меня на лут тратится, если не больше. Хотя не половину, разговоров тут тоже очень много. Треть, наверное. Ну и так, на скидку. Что-то я взломал, может это поможет? Да. Еще не все. Тут надо ответы правильные давать. Это улыбнусь и уйду, ответ держу разговор. Отстаньте от меня, я не знаю, что это значит. Заперто. Чего? Я думал, я отпер это. Чего, блин? Как мне это сделать? Мне 100-й уровень надо. Пожалуйста, введите пароль. Вопрос 1. Вы находитесь на совещании в штабе Альцион. Когда на задание ставит ваше действие. Активирует сотрудник, ответ защитить. Переход к следующему этапу проверки безопасности. Вы прогулитесь по одному из множества. маркетах, товары для личной безопасности, наслаждайтесь широким ассортиментом. Снаряжение, когда к вам подходит незнакомец, высказывается роквелес пренебрежение, которое вам состояние как проблем. Вопрос. Вы и ваша супруга находитесь в здоровых отношениях. Она же узнает, что он дает вашим детям лишь сказки.
Captain, I was hoping for a word.
Чего? Как странное разблокирование. Куда мне нужно? Всё, задание другое. Что мне за оружие дали? Снаряжение. Навык. Тяжелое оружие. Нет, я же его не выбрал. Иначе плазмой стреляет. Попробуем. Что тут прячете от меня? О. Я все открываю, может кому-то все это интересно. За ворота. Сами идут. Антигравитационная какая-то пушка. Нормально. Нет, это свой. Кто там еще с вами стреляет? Не вижу. А, вот он прячется. У меня почти 22 уровень. Ладно, попробуем. Вроде нормальное оружие. Да, видно будет. Надо задание выбирать, чего я бегаю. Одну одежду. Это Византия, да? Это я только не выполнил. На первой планете. Найдите и убейте девочку. Тоже Византия. Ладно, тогда отправляемся. А где у меня корабль? У меня цель не горит. Где моя цель? Я не вижу цель. Нет больше цели в жизни. Чудовища.
May you find peace in death.
Гигант. 22 уровень. Тут еще есть. Где у меня корабль находится? Я не помню. Блок, защита, ложь, взлом, рука. Вот, вскрытие замков. Паника на 15 минут. Карта. Где мой корабль? Там 2 точки должны быть, да? Вот. Мне же Византию надо по-любому, они здесь. Задание же не здесь.
Not today, Sam. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? I'll be here.
Нет новых разговоров. Чего-то я не понял, где Византия? Тища. Юпитер. У меня задания нет. Какая Византия? Где она находится?
I'll lock up behind you.
Дом, где вот находится Византия? Или я дала вам ключа от главного входа? Я, наверное, еще и не нашел. Ладно, идем тогда это задание выполнять. Сюжет. Я одни допы выполняю. Блин, не ту кнопку нажал. Хотел робота выбрать. Ладно, с этим побегаем. Нюка. Уже нельзя брать.
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood, so it's sliding all over the place, trying to crawl away. Getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud. But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, shit, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn rat out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you? Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you? Outstanding! What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger? Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You have to get me something to clear my head. Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're very good. I'm cut off for the month on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set. I know they make me see straight for a little while. You gonna get me a dose or what?
Медпункт, запас лекарств.
Poor Braxton. I don't want to think about it.
Hello, dearie. Why, I don't believe I've seen you before. And with sweet cheeks like those, I'd remember. What can Auntie Abigail do for you? And what a helpful young man you are. Nothing like a little pill to liven up the spirits. Who's your lucky friend, dearie? Aren't you a saucy thing? I may not be a fresh young thing anymore, but with age comes experience, dearie. Much as I'd love to, my rheumatism is especially fierce at the moment, and I'm all out of my medicine. But I'd hate to send you away empty-handed. You were here for caffeinoid, weren't you? Who's it for? I'm so sorry, but with the iconoclasts and the marauder filth chasing away what little trade we get, I'm afraid I have to reserve my supply for Stellar Bay residents. Our reserves have gotten so low, I've even had to start locking the supply room upstairs. Isn't it a shame what some people will do to get a little extra? Isn't it just? I'd make an exception for you if I could, my little cherub. Is there anyone else needing a special pickup from Auntie Abigail? Oh, her. It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Contribute like the rest of us. Now I've gone and said too much. And you know me, dearie. I don't like to pry. I'm afraid not. Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Even I can't access them. Oh, you flatter an old woman. Me, I'm just here to be a pretty face for the customers. And to keep an extra key to the supply room, for all the times Dr. Williams misplaced his. Careless experimentation with medicinal substances does take its toll, eventually. Chin up, dearie.
Can we talk?
Не хочу ее запугивать. Можно было бы, ну... так. Лишнее не будем брать. Много всяких данных. Пойдемте. Мы ей достали и хватит на сейчас, а потом нас не волнует.
Ah, the charmer. Welcome back. Drink, chat, or business? All of the above? More or less dangerous than a steady supply of alcohol. Give it here. Whew, that hits the spot. Right in the, oh, no, there it is. There it is. Yes. We're in business. Let's go. Great. Where to? Oh, Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. He's running the giant radio tower we lovingly call Devil's Peak. We'll be going south and west, mostly along the road till we're past Fallbrook. Out there, there's a western slope that'll lead us through some fun. You like hunting, right? That's fun. If you're more of a spelunker, Rotting River will take you into the mountain caverns. We can discuss options when we get closer. That said, 3's already a crowd. I don't mind waiting somewhere until you got a spot open.
I hope you like being part of our crew, Nyoka. We're real excited to have you. So you keep Monarch safe, huh? That's real honorable work, Miss Nyoka.
Oh, no. Monarch ain't safe, even with me around. I've just got intimate.
Продать. Много уже всего накопил. Это оставим все. И 49 уровень. Офигеть. Сколько я всего нахожу, это просто перебор какой-то. 25 тысяч. Не око. В моей команде. Мини, урон. Персонаж, что-то я хотел поставить. Броню. У меня 49 уровень стоит. 36.
And an abundance of fortitude. Folks hire me because I know what you can shoot and what you ought to run from. That's a mistake you only get to make once.
Yeah.
We're here, light years from Earth.
What was it like in Edgewater? I hear you workers were on the clock every available moment.
We always got 8 hours a day for sleep.
Поближе переместиться. Блин, неудачно переместился. Ладно, добежим. Мы бывали наверняка, да? Идем. Их, себе ты большой. Да не того. Гиганты. Чего вы тут охраняли? Есть что? Да есть, но я не знаю где. Слышу, пищит. Я откуда знаю, где это пищит. Мне вечно в левом ухе пищит. База какая-то, да?
And here we are. Told you we'd make it in one piece. Station ain't too far now. Oh no. How the hell did marauders navigate the caverns?
Here we go!
Чтобы вас... Это я неудачно зашел. У меня же есть замедление времени. Конечно, эта пушка мощная. Издалека сняли. Основную часть уже сняли. В этом ключе. Спины зашел. Откуда взялся? Я с той стороны пришел, наверное, отбежал. Крикливые какие. По-тихому не можешь, что ли, гореть? Паряться. Я поначалу боялся, что ж патронов хватать не будет на высокой сложности. Такое количество дают, что я всегда в плюс ухожу. Я уже просто их экономить перестал. Я уже на автомате. На автомате 300. Надо все смотреть.
Hiram must have sealed the door. He spooks easy.
Запечатано. Ничего нет. Идем. Даже если что-то есть, плевать. Не увидел, ну и ладно.
You may not realize this, being as you're an outsider. Stations online. Can't ever. Don't leave already.
Блин. Да что-то как на высокой сложности, все равно легко, надо было на максималку ставить. Обычно высокой сложности посложнее, но поначалу было нелегко. Как начал прокачиваться, как все прям начал лутать, все по-быстренько прокачался. Никаких сложностей.
Here's the elevator.
Отдать.
Ain't gonna budge while this place is on lockdown. Guess we keep moving forward. Look for another way up.
Даже можно реже продавать. У меня столько места уже 370 вместимость. Ну, это вроде кажется много денег. Сейчас что-то прокачать и сразу все деньги улетят. Прокачивание очень дорогое. Оружие прокачиваю. На 3 уровня прокачаю еще, и ничего не останется. Если хватит на 3 уровня. Ну, я думаю, на 3 должно хватить. Пум-пум. Потом помоем. Грязненький, наверное. Просто как-то у них тут все поломано. Тот со мной разговаривает.
I can't tell if you're brave or simply touched in the head. What in the galaxy are you doing sniffing around my station? Unless you are, in fact, trying to suicide by Marauder? And you, Nyoka, what are you doing lugging a stranger into my station?
You could use the socialization, you son of a bitch. Also, he hired me.
To what purpose? I happen to have some significant problems I am dealing with right now. Marauders, running out of purple berry wine 3 days ago, not being able to bloody broadcast. No. We'll deal with information-related business later. As I said, there are bigger problems threatening my life and livelihood at this very moment. The Marauders want me dead. And since my hired hands have clearly turned idle, it appears I need you to clear out the threat. As my newest contractor, you may call me the Broker.
Or we can call you Hiram, on account of that's your damn name, and doubly on the account of the Broker being a dumbass alternative.
What? Everyone calls me that, aside from you. See, Nyoka? I barricaded the broadcast center, but I can only hold out for so long. Clear the Marauders out, and I'll pay you double the going rate. They destroy the transmission equipment, and I'll be out of business. The elevator and doors to the second floor are back online. Hurry before I have to lock them down again. Too many, considering I hired a bunch of no-good mercs to keep them out in the first place. Already, they've caused considerable damage to the station's property. If they take down the broadcast equipment, I'll be out of a job, permanently. Aside from the bits I'll be paying you, you said you wanted something from me. Something information-related. I'll give it to you, in person, once I'm safe.
Captain, let's talk.
Как мне туда попасть?
Hell of a job.
Берем и все, забудем и все, как обычно. Заберем все, что не пропущу. Я как мне на второй этаж попасть? Где тут были двери, лифт, лестница? Не видел.
Elevators to your right. Get ready.
Справа от вас. Где справа? О. Привет. Бежит. Ух ты. О. Не добил. Охренеть, мне жизни мало. Вы справились, девчонки? Все прочитал. Даже не все, ничего страшного. Ля-ля-ля, повсюду лут, повсюду слишком много лута. Куда? А вот сюда. Устал лутаться, честно. Нам наверное. Вот он запаниковал. Ручками прикрылся, все. Не хочу я с вами драться, сумасшедший.
Marauder free at last. I'll get the door. You hurry on in.
Он даже не против, то что это лутаешь. Сейчас сначала все заберем. Раз мы не против, почему? Почему бы не забрать? Еще нам деньжат даст.
Never thought I'd be ecstatic at having the walls painted in blood, but seeing as it's not mine, I'd say this calls for a celebration. This ought to square our debt. One hefty payment for a highly valued service rendered. But I admit, I do wonder why Nyoka has brought you to me. Allow me to pose my question in another manner. Why, in the nebula, are you here? Ah yes, our little chat on the intercom. You're looking for the premier broker for all of Monarch, which you knew was me, clearly. Phineas must have sent you. He's the only one insane enough to send someone to Monarch to rush me. I knew it was only a matter of time before he came a-knocking. Look, I might be late, but I fulfill my contracts, always.
Oh, you do you? I have lost track of the number of beers you owe me for chasing raptidons off your stoop.
Are you fibbing? Be honest.
I take offense to that. Look, okay. Just, it might take me a while this time. I am awaiting but a single incoming transmission containing the information we desire. But MSI and the Iconoclasts are clogging the airwaves from Stellar Bay and Amber Heights. In their war against each other, they're scrambling each other's outgoing transmissions. Luckily, however, the Iconoclasts have now gone silent. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Then you've my impressed gratitude. Still, we need to get MSI off the airwaves. I will leave the means to that particular end under your discretion. The bandwidth! There's too much blasted background noise. Nothing gets through but their local broadcasts. Which of course has inadvertently affected the incoming port and my livelihood. Graham and his iconoclasts believe anarchy is the way of life. Sanjar opposes it, as he's taking strides to corporatize Stellar Bay. My former partner, Sanjar, transmits from his office in MSI's headquarters in the center of town. Don't let him try to fool you. While his messages might seem like gibberish, they are in reality coded business orders to off-world companies. I understand why he needs the bandwidth, but we had a deal and he's broadcasting ceaselessly. No, they're jamming the limited frequencies we have at our disposal. Nothing extraplanetary can get in or out until the frequency pollution thins out. The safest bet is to convince Sanjar and MSI to stop transmitting on their end. You do that, I'll be here, waiting on the receiving end. Luck be with you. I have a feeling you'll be needing a pinch of it, plus a vat of patience. Is that a trick question? Because to answer it, you'd need to pay me. Of course, I could offer you a vastly more interesting bit of data instead. Try me. Ask me anything you'd like. I'll even offer it for free. We'll call it an exchange for your help with the broadcasts. Ask me what you will. What? No. Why would I go out of my way to intercept messages from Earth? There's no market for them. No buyer means it's not worth my time. Now, if you wanted me to intercept a certain one, that might be worth it for the right price. Not much, admittedly. Phineas has been in hiding for the past 35 years. He got in touch with Nyoka first, who I use as a physical go-between. The rest is history. As far as what's between us, I mean. Outside of that, well, that's a raptidon of another color. I do know this much. There is a sharper side to the good scientist than you'd expect. If allegations are to be believed, the experiments he conducts for the greater good are in fact treasonous and for self-gain. I am not convinced as to the validity of these allegations, considering the source, but I am also not unconvinced either. Luckily for you, I am a veritable font of information. They are a curious lot. Insufferable. And short-sighted, too. What else do you wish to know? Sanjar's not actually at fault for his past performance reviews, but he can keep hunting for loopholes to get back on the board for the next century. He'll never be reinstated. Not in his lifetime. For Nebula's sake, even with the loophole I gave him, he's only in charge of MSI because every other exec died during the massacre at Amber Heights. Indeed, the information I gather usually is, or it's not worth my time investment, as you can imagine. Some say Graham suffers from nightmares that leave him sweat-drenched and screaming. I would assume it stems from the friends and family he lost in Amber Heights all those years ago. You mean between MSI, the Iconoclasts, and myself? I bet neither of those megalomaniacs told you I was the true mastermind behind Monarch. Back when the colony was still Terra 1 and corporations were abandoning us left and right, I'm the one who approached Sanjar and Graham with the means to our salvation. I offered them a legal way to take control of the planet. If MSI were the only corporation here, they could claim sole ownership. Precisely. The other corporations were fleeing because of the hazard clause declaring Terra 1 uninhabitable. But MSI had lagged behind, giving Sanjar and Graham an opportunity. Take over MSI, stay here while the other corps left, take over the planet. Precisely. Without me, they never would have done more than play Revolution in hushed whispers over scuzzy kale ales in the tavern. Thus, the bargain was struck. They could run MSI while I would operate Devil's Peak Station. Unfortunately, relations have soured over time. Competing ideologies. Graham believes Sanjar has become corrupted by the corporate lifestyle, that he is now similar to the original corporate executives they sought to reform. And Sanjar has learned the hard way that Graham is quite morally gray. Luckily for you, I am a veritable font of information. There are so many members. Do specify. If you try to cite me on this, I will deny, deny, deny. Do you understand? What I am about to reveal is the sort of information that gets a body disappeared. MSI's ownership of Monarch is technically legal, but it would give MSI too much power on the board to grant them such status. Exactly. But you didn't hear so much as a whisper of such from me. If you try to cite me on this, I will deny MSI's ownership of... Luckily for you, I am a veritable font of information. How low you seemingly regard my trade. I may have a secret for you, for the right exchange. How low? Be a doll and shoot any marauders you spot on the way down.
Can we talk?
Yeah. Ничего, показано, что можно взять и все равно скрывать нужно.
Yeah. Got some nimble fingers, Captain.
Я же не ворую. Нет значка, что я ворую. Да, так что можно все забрать. Мы сейчас скоро заканчиваем будем. Второй ролик за сегодня хватит. И в первую наработан. Да, мне далеко, да? Другой конец карты. Корабль переместился. Большая у меня команда уже. По-любому кто-нибудь прибавится. Хромает он меня. Нет, уже вылечился почти.
Aha, the helpful stranger I've heard so much about. Here to do business, hmm?
Hmm?
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me. Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself? What a charming notion. One doesn't meet many free spirits in Альцион. Not outside Tartarus prison, anyway. Forgive me, I'd be positively enraptured. Only, I take it this means you aren't here for Saltuna. Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional erotic and athletic disappointments. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now.
So-called is right. We've got our hazards, but we're still here, damn it. The board took off without so much as a thought for the folks left behind.
I don't... Dang it, Captain, that's not right. Folks on Monarch shouldn't have to suffer just because the board says so.
Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour.
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
A lot of good that'll do. They'll just find another reason to turn tail and abandon you.
Not if we secure the proper safeguards first.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended. With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance. I'll need to gather some supplemental materials, but I mustn't get ahead of myself.
You do tend to do that.
The Bolt 52 will be in the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. And these days, it's overrun with marauders and raptidons. Do be careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptidons out there. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. What can I do for you? Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes. I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws. Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2, but back then it was known as Terra 1. As you may have noticed, this planet has more than its share of hazards.
That ain't fair. They didn't leave on account of the hazards. They left on account of their cowardice. The hazards just gave them a reason to put to paper.
Sharp as ever, Nyoka. And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out. Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to, but there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up. Ah, so you've heard about our prior acquaintance. I suppose you're right. Graham's always had a way with words. Strange as it may seem, I suspect he'd have quite the corporate career if he weren't so radical. Graham seemed like a reasonable man years ago. We both agreed that MSI's treatment of its workers was untenable. I thought reforms would be enough. I didn't realize you wanted to abolish the corporate system entirely. Reforms are humane, but they're also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out.
I hope you'd treat them nice, whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community means. Treating people right, because it's the right thing to do.
Here, here. That may not be the way the colony works, but it damn well oughta.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway board policy. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms. No, they laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2, along with everyone else. Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages. I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws. I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently. Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
Yeah, that'd go a long way toward rebuilding our homes.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation. I'm not a man to put pride before progress. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes, it'll be easier to explain once we have the Bolt 52. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
It's straight bullshit is what it is. A fabrication rich folks use to preserve their investments, by leaving a lot of people here to die slow.
Nyoka has the right of it. It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
But wait, what happens to the folks stuck on the wrong side of dangerous?
I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into the board's risk assessments. Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard to run a business that way. Well, technically he may have suggested it, but he certainly wasn't doing the paperwork himself. Technically he does. What exactly are you accusing me of? Until we're back on the board, I need to run those advertisements. If there's no business on Monarch, then we all starve. Hiram included. What can I do for you? I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff? Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you? You're just as rigid as the old executive committee. Why, we've hardly been able to get a clear message out until recently.
When Graham finally shut up.
It isn't easy keeping a town like Stellar Bay afloat, especially without the board's backing. We need that frequency to reach our trading partners. Indeed. That's why it's imperative that MSI be reinstated onto the board. And the first step is getting the Bolt 52.
Join me for a second, will you?
То есть нам по-любому нужно добыть эту фигню. Да блин, уперся и никуда не идем.
soon as you stop to dream of other
О,
things,
не,
that'll
мне
be
надо вот это починить. $29 000. Вот моя пушка, да? 6000 улучшение.
the day something sneaks up and eats you.
Don't fret. I'm watching your back now. Anything tries to eat us, I'll give it a mighty whack on the nose.
Well, I'll be
Мне
damned.
вообще заканчивать
You watch
надо
my
уже.
back,
Как
I'll watch
сказал мой
yours.
Заша в первую. Пам-пам-пам-пам-пам. Вот рядышком. Пойдемте сходим.
Good old Stellar Bay. Only place on the planet that don't stink of sulfur. On account of it stinking like fish instead.
И толпа. Тю-тю, плювун, плювун, не плюй в меня.
Damn, but here's the...
Еще один? Где? Все справились без меня. Без меня справились они. Слишком много тут. Приходится биться, лутаться. Потому что я уже это все зачищал. Да? По удалению. Он же нас просил все удалить. Доп. Условия. Конечно, это не обязательно, но желательно. Это акаиш. Шляпа. Море лута повсюду. Ну что ты? Выбирай давно.
Hello? Hello? I hear boots out there. Wait, can rats wear boots? Oh, thank the Eternal. I'm Huxley. Hux if you're lazy. I'm stuck. My friends and I were scavenging here, and a Meta Queen showed up. Then Raptidons. It was a void-blasted mess. I ran in here, and, now the door's locked. Little help? It's easier than it sounds, all right? Next time you get chased by Raptidons, you let me know the rationality of your decisions. Phew. Thanks, mister. My buddy had a key, but I ain't heard him in a while. He locked me in here and took off. Probably got munched. So look for a dead guy, I guess. Or a rat. Maybe it's in a rat belly. Gross. Oh, much obliged.
Ah, phew. Thank you so much. It was getting all stuffy in there, and I was getting a mite lightheaded, and I think maybe I was gonna die.
now I'm out here. And I'm headed back to Amber Heights.
Still landing yourself in trouble, eh, Hux?
Oh, hi, Nyoka. You mind giving me an escort back home? Oh, you're traveling with someone. Never mind. Oh, sure, I'm a runner. I'm used to getting all dizzy and... Hey, who's your identical, slightly blurry friend?
Зачем атаковать?
Thanks a lot, mister.
Если мы уже достали вот это, то, что нам нужно, мы еще не забрали. Да, уже возвращаемся. То есть это все задание будет выполнено. Давайте потом уж вернемся. Уж просто надо заканчивать играть, это хорошо, и работать надо. А чтобы работать, надо перед работой хотя бы поспать. Не прыгай, что напрыгай. Они без меня справляются, это не мощно.
Careful. Only things you'll find in the ruins are liable to shoot you or eat you. Or both.
I wonder who used to live here. Do you suppose anyone remembers anymore? Look out!
Я думал, я добил. Кричит, ну такая спокойная. Я не вижу, где он. Ладно, плевай. Ля-ля-ля. Хотя я вообще могу ниже не бежать, а просто переместиться. Ладно, давайте закончим. Правде хватит. Не то, что хватит, просто мне вообще-то в первую вставать, и мне еще монтировать, рендерить. Давайте не загрузить, чтобы он уже обрабатывался на ютубе. Мне надо еще и поспать. Ладно, интересно это все. Конечно, если были бы субтитры, было бы... Ой, блин, субтитры. Они тут и так есть. Если была бы озвучка русская, а не субтитры, было бы еще бы гораздо интереснее. Не приходилось бы это все читать. Ну ладно, исходим из того, что есть. Я думаю, на этой планете был бы полный ужас. Посмотрите, какая тут висит планета. И вот такие катаклизмы творились.
There's always something to fix, and it's neat working in the Aether. I always took Atmo for granted. Now, if I drill through the hole, we'll suffocate. Exciting, you know.
I'm not sure I wanted to know that. Being in space sets me on edge enough.
You know about stellar emissions? Actually, I probably shouldn't tell you about those. I mean, not unless you want to know how we're all likely to get spacers lung.
Right. Okay. When we get back to the ship, I'm drinking this conversation right out of my recollection.
Ладно, все, заканчиваем. Сохранился. Я уже до этого сохранился, но мы в любом случае пересохранились, перезаписались. Заканчиваем. Скоро продолжим. Скоро увидимся. Скоро будем дальше проходить. Пока что все. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Пока-пока.